Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into the B4X language. It's this really powerful suite of tools that's all about making modern app development faster, simpler, and way more efficient.
You know, if you're a developer, you've definitely run into this problem. You build an awesome app, but now you have to write and maintain totally separate versions for Android, then for iOS, and then for desktop. Man, it's such a drain on your time and energy. So what if there was a better way?
Well, that's exactly where the B4X suite comes in. It starts by tackling the two biggest players in the mobile world. With B4A, you can build your native Android apps, and with B4I, you can build native iOS apps. And the best part, you get to reuse a ton of your code between them.
And hey, it doesn't just stop with phones. B4X also lets you create programs for desktop and servers with B4J, and even gets into the super cool world of IoT with B4R, which targets devices like Arduino. I mean, it's the whole package, really.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the big promise of B4X, one language, many platforms. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, looking at how it handles data with primitives and objects. After that, we'll check out how the IDE tools can totally speed up your workflow, and we'll wrap up by looking at how you can continue your own B4X journey.
All right, first up, let's really dig into that core idea, using one single, consistent language to build for a whole universe of different devices.
So here's the breakdown of the suite. B4A is your go-to for Android apps. B4I handles all your native iOS needs. B4J takes care of desktops and servers. And B4R lets you program those tiny microcontrollers. And the secret sauce tying it all together? That's B4X Pages, a library that makes it so much easier to create user interfaces that just work everywhere.
Okay, so any programming language, right? It's all about data at its core. And understanding how B4X handles it is absolutely key. So let's get into the two main ways B4X thinks about data: primitives and objects.
First up, we've got what are called primitives. The best way to think about these, they're like your basic single Lego bricks. A variable that's a primitive type holds its value directly. It's not pointing to something else, it is the value itself, whether that's a number like 42, a simple true, or a single character.
So here's where it gets really interesting when you compare the two. Primitives are super simple. They hold their value directly. But non-primitives, or objects, are different. See, an object variable doesn't actually hold all its complex data. Instead, it holds a little signpost, a reference that just points to where the real data lives in memory. This is a huge deal because it means primitives are incredibly fast, while objects give you a lot more power and flexibility.
Okay, so a primitive is one single piece of data. But what happens when you need to handle, a bunch of data all at once? Well, that's where collections come in, and you're going to use them all the time in any real app.
Now, B4X has a few different types of collections, but we're going to focus on the two workhorses you'll use constantly, lists and maps. And to really get them, you got to remember that object reference thing we just talked about.
And this right here is why understanding that value versus reference thing is so important. A list is an object. So you might look at this code, list2 equals list1, and think, great, I've made a copy. But nope, you haven't. All you've done is create a second signpost that points to the exact same list. That means if you change something in list1, it's going to change in list2 too. And that can cause some really confusing bugs.
So how do you fix it? Well, the right way to do it is to create a real independent copy. You start by making a brand new empty list, and then you use a method like addAll to copy over all the items from the original one. Now you've got two totally separate lists, and changing one won't mess with the other. All right, the other workhorse collection is called a map. Think of it just like a dictionary. You have a unique key, which is like a word, and then you have its associated value, which is like the definition. This is perfect for when your data has structure, like pulling information from a database, where you can make the column name the key and the cell data the value.
Okay, we've got the basics of the language down. Now for the fun part. Let's see how the B4X IDE, that's the program you write your code in, gives you some serious superpowers to make you code faster and smarter. Come on, you know the drill. You're in the zone, coding away, and then, poof, you forget the exact name of a method. So you gotta stop, open a browser, search for the documentation. It totally breaks your flow. Well, the B4X IDE is designed to put a stop to that. Well, check this out. The IDE makes this whole process painless. Step 1, you literally just hover your mouse over a type, like list in this example, and just like that, a helpful little pop-up appears with a quick summary right where you need it. But what if you need more detail?
You don't even have to open a new tab and start typing. Right there on the pop-up, you just click Search Online, and it zips you right over to the official B4X forums with search results already filtered for you.
And from there, it's just one more click to get the full detailed documentation with every method and property listed out. And the absolute best part of this whole thing, you never had to leave your code. Your flow is completely uninterrupted.
Okay, here's another awesome time saver: auto-generating event handlers. Think about all that boilerplate code you write for things like a button click. What if the IDE could just write it for you with a couple of keystrokes?
It's so simple. Watch. You type private sub, hit the tab key, and the IDE just takes over. It asks you which object you want to work with, and as soon as you choose one, it shows you a complete list of every possible event for that object. No more guessing.
You pick the one you need from the list, hit Enter, and boom! Just like that, the IDE drops in a perfectly structured, error-free code block, all ready for you to fill in. It's an amazing way to speed things up and avoid simple mistakes.
All right, let's start to bring all this together and talk about where you go from here on your B4X journey.
One last tool I want to show you is the B4X Help Viewer. It's this separate little program that lets you explore the entire B4X world, all the libraries, all the objects, even when you're offline. It's a fantastic resource for just digging in and discovering new things.
So we've covered a lot, right? We've seen how B4X gives you this one language for pretty much everything, how it handles data in a smart way, and how the IDE is just packed with features to make your life easier. It's a system that's built to make complicated things feel simple. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.